Morning, guys.
Hi. Ta-da! I'm here.
Morning, Teresa. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm here to find out more, okay, and just to hear you guys.
Awesome. Welcome. Well done on joining us.
Do we have to have this video on? Because I just got out of bed.
It doesn't matter.
How do I turn it off?
Well, this is the whole thing, is that when we're camping, we want to be able to see what people look like first thing in the morning. Okay. So this is the preparation.
Got it. I'm leaving the lights off.
All right, excellent. We got Hannah, we got Simran, we got Emma, we got Charlene from Zambia, we've got Pamela, and Gavin, we're on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, excellent. We've got Ridwan who's joined. We've got Anand from Zambia. This is lovely. Ridwan, lovely to see you out walking.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Awesome. We need to catch up. I want to know how you're doing.
Sure.
All right, excellent. So I'm just going to send a message to everyone to say that we're live. Can you guys all see me?
Yes.
I can.
All right, great. Okay. Okay, so it's 6:59. We'll just start in a second. As mentioned, guys, we've got Gavin who's joining us today, and he's likely taking care of his little one right now, and so he may not be on too long, but he'll stay on as long as he can. Is that correct, Gavin?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, excellent. Okay, just Bonnie, welcome.
Morning. How are you? Sorry, I'm late.
Good. No, it's 6:59. We're just joining now. We're just going live now.
Okay. Okay, cool.
All right, excellent. Can you guys could you put yourselves on mute if you're not sharing, and then unmute yourselves when you're sharing? Can I just check? Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent. Okay. So, guys, it's 7 a.m. and welcome to the FITBANKER's Kilimanjaro Leadership Summit 2017. These are our weekly prep calls. And can you believe it? It felt like it's April and we've just started, but we're already now 4 weeks away. So tomorrow, I think it's from tomorrow, 4 weeks from now, we're going to be on that flight going and making our way over there. Guys, please put yourselves on mute if you're not sharing.
Am I on mute?
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Okay, there we are. Perfect. All right, excellent. So just a very quick recap of what we went over last week was a bit of the initial prep we require, and what we want to create for everyone is a bit of a visualization process, so understand and visualize what it will look like on the mountain, going through, what it will take summit there. But you want to kind of mentally or visually or spiritually, or whichever way you want to interpret it, travel there and then make that process a lot more real when we are on the mountain. As a reminder, the purpose of these calls is for us to connect, get to know each other, share our progress updates. So, what have we been doing in terms of training? And a great thing to share from our training, as we're quite global, is let's share any learning points that come up. So something you forgot, some error you made, or if you haven't done something, you haven't broken into your boots, as an example, by now you should. There's still some people not on mute, and there's some background noise. And any concerns that you have, any questions. And today in particular, we have Gavin on, and those of you guys that are, there's the mountain climb, and then there is the safari, and Gavin and his team are leading the mountain climb. Gavin is the lead guide. We'll introduce him in a second. So any questions or concerns around that, now is a great time to discuss that. On these calls, we'll also continue to talk about nutrition and training that we need to put in, and the mental prep. And so this is all to aid us really be kind of as much as ready as we can mentally for the mountain. But then there's a lot that we're going to learn on the mountain, and that we can leave to discovery there. Also, maybe we can learn some little Kiswahili, and we'll talk about some games or songs that we can get to sing or play along the way to keep our energy up. Very quick one we talked of. I'm not going to go through everything, but guys, try to get in at least once a week, 15 kilometers, 10 to 15 kilometers each weekend, or once a week between now and Kili. And if you can do a daily 5 kilometers. Also, water intake. It's very, it's very easy to say drink 3 liters of water, but it requires some getting used to habitually to be lifting up this water bottle and moving with this 1 liter bottle to consume and having sips every so often. So we want to start hydrating our bodies even from now. And, Jatin and Anand, no alcohol from 6th November. So, okay. So we'll go over the rest we covered on. I share the recording. A reminder again why we're doing this, and our fundraising is launched and live. Our email has gone out, and now I'm going to also do my own post on social media. But I've seen Anand has already done one. Ambika has done one. Promoting our climb and the link for people to sponsor. My invite to you guys is to really authentically share what this climb means for you. And share that with people via text message if you have to, or on social media. But really, this is one of the big things that you'll have done in your life. So really go out of your way for the fundraising for what we're doing. And today, our main objective is to meet Gavin. So that's Gavin, phenomenal human being. Gavin, I hope you don't mind. We've got these beautiful photos from the internet. I think without saying much, Gavin is obviously the lead mountain guide and the founder of Adventure Alternative, which is the tour guide company that we're working with. And he is also trustee of the Moving Mountains Trust, one of the charities we're working with. And while we're there, we will get to visit a village where a number of the tour guides who are supporting us, the mountain guides, we will go and see where they live and get a feel of their day in the life of them. It will be a day number 8 of reflection and gratitude. And we will get to see some work that they've been doing some time back on a school, or I'm not sure. We'll get more of an update of what we'll get to see there. But without much ado, I want to introduce Gavin. So Gavin, if you just say a little bit about yourself and your background and anything else that you'd love to share about you.
Yeah, morning everybody. Thanks, Ronak. And my name's Gavin. I'm a mountain guide. I've been professionally mountain guiding for about 25 years now. And I've personally climbed Kilimanjaro 54 times. I've lived in many different countries around the world, and I've worked in different industries. But one of the things that I set up a long time ago was moving mountains. So the school which you'll be visiting, a place called Ungaroni, over on the slopes of the mountain, is one of about 38 schools which we've built in the last 25 years in East Africa. So that's part of the trip, but obviously the big part for you guys is to climb the mountain. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. I did send an email out to everybody the other day, which kind of gave some preparatory information and tips and advice. But the main thing is really not to sort of be overwhelmed by the whole thing. It's climbed by about 23,000 people a year at the moment, and the success rate with my groups anyway is about 95% over the last 20 odd years. And the reason that the most common reason that people fail on Mount Kilimanjaro is simply because they get too tired. It's not because of any major issues. It's just because people get too tired and decide to turn around. So over the 7 days, we'll have plenty of time to acclimatize and get used to the altitude, which is, of course, most people's concern and worry. But in my experience, the 7 days is enough for the vast majority of people to safely climb this mountain. So do ask me any questions while I'm here, but I look forward to meeting you all in a few weeks' time and taking you up the mountain.
Awesome. Gavin, thanks so much. I didn't really get present to, I didn't know of that. You mentioned 38 schools. Is it 38 schools globally that have been built through Moving Mountains?
Mostly in Kenya, some in the Himalayas, and now this one in Tanzania.
Okay, got it. So is this school right now, is it fully functional? Because I wasn't clear whether it had work on it had stopped or whether.
It's about, so what we do is we build it bit by bit. So we have a number of classrooms which are built, so it is functional, but it's not at full capacity. Over the last few years, the whole sort of economy on the mountain has changed because of climate change.
Yeah.
It really has changed the way that people live on the mountain. But one of the things that they've always lacked is a school which is very close by to the village where all the local people live. And most of the people in the village are people who work on the mountain. So this school is really an important addition to their community. And when you go there, what you'll see is a number of classrooms which have been built, but most schools are kind of a 5-year program really to get it completely up to full capacity.
Got it. Okay. And last time when we did the climb, so the last time we did the climb in 2014, guys, we had also gone with Gavin. And Gavin, you had mentioned about something around what you're doing to empower entrepreneurship or create employment in the build-up of the schools, like training people into brick making or bricklaying and so on. Is that something that's being done with this as well?
Not so much with the school. I mean, we do employ a lot of teachers and social workers and child development teachers in East Africa. But I do, as a kind of side project, I do invest a lot in social enterprise,
Okay.
especially women in tourism. And I do invest a lot in staff training. So all the staff that you'll be working with on the mountain, for example, get international first aid qualifications from a company that comes out from actually Scotland and does all that work. So I believe very much in training my mountain staff wherever they are in the world, and making sure that they have it as a career rather than just something which is almost like a day rate job. So I think what you'll find when you're there is on the mountain that the staff have been working with me for now, well, in most cases, more than 15 years. And they're all very experienced and they speak very good English, and they'll look after us all very well.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to meeting some of them again. We've been looking at the photos and sharing as Commander and Lipman, and I'm looking forward to meeting all those guys if they're still there.
Yep, they'll all be with us.
Awesome. All right. So with 4 weeks to go, there are people on this call, I just want to explain, that have joined at various different times. There are people that are generally active. There are people that are generally busy. And so not everyone has had to do the same amount of prep. The number of us in the UK, we've been doing monthly treks. And in between there, people have been organizing their own or going on regular walks or treks. And we've been doing about usually 15 to 22 kilometer walks or treks once a month since April or May. And I'd like to, just for the guys that have not had the chance to do a lot of that, but they have started now or they will be starting this weekend, what's the best thing they could focus on between now and the climb, and what's something they shouldn't overdo?
You should not treat it as if you're training for a marathon. So if you're training for a marathon, you run every day and you build up your miles to a point where just before the marathon, you're kind of used to running maybe 15, 20 miles, and you would do that. It's not what you would do for a mountain climb. You've got to imagine what your body is going to be having to do at altitude. What it has to do, it has to convert less oxygen to more energy.
Yeah.
And as you go higher, there's less oxygen in the air. So you have to train your body to work with less oxygen. And the way in which you do that is by a kind of regular level of exercise whereby you're building up your pulse rate and you're consistently performing sort of any form of exercise. It could be swimming or sort of in a gym or just going for a jog, or obviously the best one of all is hiking with a backpack on your back. so that your body gets used to converting oxygen to energy. The more you do that, the more enjoyable and the more easy the climb will be, because what your body will be doing at altitude is learning how to do that with less oxygen. And that is the process of acclimatization. And the body is basically producing extra red blood cells in the absence of oxygen in the air to give you that extra strength that you need to perform at altitude. So the more you exercise, the more your muscles are used to converting oxygen to energy, the more your cells can acclimatize and adapt to the altitude, the more you'll be able to enjoy the climb and actually do it without too much difficulty. It was always challenging, but it is feasible.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. That's lovely to know, guys. And that is a great distinction there between training for a marathon. Are there any questions, guys, on that, what Gavin's saying? Anything in particular around the training and prep? Please unmute.
Hi, Ronnie. I have a question, please.
Yes, Bonnie.
Hi,
If
Gavin.
you could just introduce yourself, who you are, and where you're joining the summit from.
Hi, Gavin. My name's Bonnie, and I think I joined the summit from, was it May, Ronnie? I think maybe.
Yeah, and which country are you from?
Oh, sorry, and I'm from the UK. So, Gavin, just a quick question. With everything that you've said, that and the email was really informative. So, thank you so very much. I was diagnosed with asthma. Is there any particular breathing exercise to strengthen lungs that I could work on in order to do that, to help me get to the top of the mountain and the journey throughout?
No, there aren't any actual exercises you can do, but the good news is that in my experience, people with asthma have fewer asthmatic attacks on a mountain than they do at home.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay,
and
awesome.
the most important thing is to walk at a pace which doesn't exert yourself to a point where you might trigger an attack.
Okay,
So obviously, if you're
that's amazing.
trying to run at altitude, then what will happen is you'll be panting very hard, and it will most likely trigger an asthma attack. And at that point, of course, you're going to carry all your inhalers with you. But as long as you take it easily and slowly, which is what we'll all be doing, then you will find that actually in the clear air of the mountain, it's actually really, really good for people who suffer from asthma. The only thing that might trigger an attack is very cold air. So if you're directly inhaling air which is particularly cold, then that for some people can trigger an attack, in which case what I would advise is wearing a buff around your face, like a kind of elasticated neck scarf. And what happens that is that
I've got myself one of those.
Yeah, as you inhale, it's slightly warming the air before it enters before it goes down the trachea and into your lungs. So you don't get that kind of sort of irritation almost caused by the really cold, dry air.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. I've got myself one, so that's good.
Yeah, I think you might find it useful. It can be a bit of a pain wearing it, as in some people don't like to have things over their mouth when they're walking. But the other thing is make sure you take plenty of lozenges so that the dry air doesn't dry your throat. Again, that dry throat is a trigger. So throat lozenges and a buff, and taking it nice and slowly, I think you'll be fine.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Gavin, one more question on, and guys, be ready if you have any questions as well. Feel free to interject, unmute yourselves. Just a couple questions on hydration and the water that we'll have on the mountain. Is there anything you want to add around hydration? So what we're doing is trying to get the body physically in the habit of consuming 2 to 3 liters of water, up to 3 liters. And
I just want to change your wording there. It's not just water, it's liquid.
Yeah.
So when you say 3 liters and you say liquid, you have to include soup, tea, coffee, juice, milk, anything that you consume which is a liquid is going to hydrate you, unless of course you take for example, a very strong coffee, which in itself will dehydrate you.
Yeah.
It's the diuretic. So it's liquid. And I don't carry 3 liters of water in my backpack. I carry 1 liter because during the day, I will have probably a liter of liquid in the morning, which will be several cups of tea, a fruit juice, and probably a glass of water as well before we start.
Yeah.
I'll then carry my bottle with me. I'll then have, which I'll sip from. And then at lunchtime, there'll be more juice. There'll be more drink on the table at lunchtime. So I'll probably have another, say, half to 3/4 liter at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And then
Hi, Gavin. Gavin? Guys, can you hear Gavin?
No, I can't hear him.
Okay, not sure. I think he somehow dropped off.
It said he left.
Yeah, I'm hoping his phone didn't die or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's good to hear, right? In terms of the resource and availability of the water, I think we had a bladder in our back. So at any point in time, or I think we would start off with about 2 liters, right? Yeah. Yeah, about 2 liters of water. Especially this last weekend, our training, we had run out of water. And we'd asked everyone to carry 2 liters, but most people had carried about 1 to 1.5 liters of water. And because we'd got slightly off route, it took some extra time and we had run out of water. So, but interesting to note in terms of the load, of course, not all 3 at once, but they will have barrels and buckets and containers that they will continually have available for us to top up. Okay, while we wait for Gavin, guys, anything you're getting from what is shared so far, or something you'd like to ask or share from your recent treks? Or generally anything in terms of your prep?
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, it's Hannah.
Okay, so let's go with Hannah.
Hi.
Gavin's back. Gavin is back now. So, Gavin, are you there? Gavin, are you there?
yeah, I'm back online. Sorry.
All right. Excellent. Sorry, do you want to just continue what you were saying? About the water?
I just wanted to make the point that it's not a case of having to drink 3 liters of sort of water. It's liquid every day. So
Liquid, okay.
my approach is just to have 1 liter water bottle in my backpack. And that's enough as long as I drink enough stuff in the morning and in the dinner and at lunchtime, which is on the table.
Got it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so what we do is we recommend that on our trek days, they're carrying between 1 to 2 if we're out and we don't have a place to top up, so of liquid. And daily right now, 750 ml to a 1 liter bottle, which they keep topping up through the day or as and when. Okay. There was a question, Hannah.
Can I just add something there?
Sure.
On the summit night, when you go up to the summit and you're climbing through the night, then it's not a great idea to drink lots of cold liquid. Cold liquid will give you a stomachache, and therefore what we tend to drink at altitude is hot liquid. So we bring big thermoses of tea up with us or hot juice, and you may, if you've got one, want to bring a flask with you.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, we've asked everyone to see if they can carry something that will retain hot water, and then also on summit, anything plastic. Plastic is not allowed on the mountain, but anything that isn't insulated or double walled will likely freeze on summit night.
That's absolutely true. So if you've got one of those kind of bladders, like a plastic squashy bag that you put in your rucksack
Yeah.
with a pipe going round to a mouthpiece, that will freeze.
Yeah.
It's not likely, it will. So you definitely need something which is insulated. I mean, even if you had a water bottle, like a proper water bottle, which you wrapped in loads of clothes and stuffed in the middle of your rucksack, that would be okay. In terms of plastic bottles, they don't allow the throwaway plastic bottles. So you can bring what they call a Nalgene bottle, like a proper hard plastic bottle, but not the throwaway bottles.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Hannah, what was your question? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So it wasn't really a question. It was just something that I noticed from climbing on Saturday. How much my yoga had helped with my breathing.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bit like what was said earlier. You're not training for a marathon, so in my head I was thinking I'm active, but I haven't been doing high intensity activity. But it surprised me that that's not what I'm training for. But I think I definitely will do some, those stair exercises you can get at the gym.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely going to increase that.
Awesome. So that's a brilliant point you say. And Gavin actually mentioned that I think when we met up a couple of times prior, I was asking about, one thing that we did differently as a group. We had 21 out of 22 in our group summit. And one girl had to go down and she was somebody that didn't get to show up at many of the treks, and she had bad migraines after day 3. And so she went down on day 4. But the rest of us went to summit, and 20 out of the 22 did the final summit, and one of them reached Stella Point, which is the first part of the rim, and he had to go down because of an upset tummy. But one of the things that we did differently was exactly what you're saying. We had in our team somebody who is into yoga and meditation. And on our training treks, what we did was a lot of practice on breathing. And every morning and lunch times or after breaks, we were doing some good yoga stretching and focusing on the breathing. And those of you that have joined me on the UK treks, you'll notice that I'm often saying that we got to focus on the pace of the breathing has to be distinct and different from the pace of the walking, because subconsciously our mind is conditioned to breathe at the pace of our steps. And you need to kind of separate the two. Anything you'd like to add to that, Gavin, around the breathing?
Hello?
Yeah. Gavin?
Hello, you still there, Ronnie?
Yeah, we are. We can hear you.
I just wanted to add to that and agree with what Hannah's been saying. Most people don't realize that actually when you're climbing a high altitude mountain, one of the first things you have to do is to learn to breathe again, and also to learn how to walk again. It's not all about physical prowess. It's not about how big your muscles are. It is about how you can control your breathing and adapt your walking to give your body the best chance to walk up nearly 6,000 meters with less oxygen in the air. It's a really simple kind of physiological challenge that you're giving the body, and you can help it by doing exactly what you've been saying, the breathing exercises. So panting, where you're only using the top third of your lungs and you're kind of not giving your lungs a chance to sort of circulate oxygen, the air properly, is obviously not good. Deep breathing, as if you were an opera singer, for example, is very good. But trying to do that while walking at altitude is difficult. So it takes actually a long time to get right. And that is one of the things we'll be learning when we're out there on the hill.
Awesome. All right. Excellent. Any other questions, guys? We've got it's 7:27. We've got time for one more question.
I've got a question.
Go for it, Emma. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Emma. I am originally from the UK and I live in Valencia in Spain. And my question is for Gavin, really. I'm just interested What made you get into climbing mountains, and what has the highlight been for you so far?
Well, I started when I was a very young boy, up in the hills of Scotland when I was about 11 years old. So I've really done it all my life, and I've been through all the different disciplines, from rock climbing to alpine climbing, and now at my stage in life, I've specialized in high altitude climbing, which is as much about kind of medicine and understanding the medical situation behind it and what's happening physiologically to your body. I'm fascinated by that. I study sports performance psychology as well, so I'm really interested in how being on big mountains sort of challenges people mentally as well as physically. And in terms of my highlights, well, I mean, you only need to look at my website. I happen to have climbed Mount Everest 6 times, and I've done it 3 times without bottled oxygen. So I would have to say that from a personal point of view, those were pretty much obvious highlights in my life. But in terms of taking clients up, actually Kilimanjaro ranked very, very highly. And the reason is mainly because the type of people who go on Kilimanjaro are not necessarily professional climbers or experienced mountaineers. They're people who see the mountain as a kind of a big bucket list item in their life. There's lots and lots of reasons that people go there, and I'm fascinated by that. And it's kind of my privilege to take people up there. So you meet all types of people on Kilimanjaro, really, really interesting people. And I hope, anyway, we'll have a great time together and enjoy the experience more than anything, because it shouldn't be something that's overwhelming. It can, for some people, be terrifically life-changing.
Thank you. Thanks, Gavin.
It definitely was life-changing for us, that all went last time, and a phenomenal bond that we've all created amongst us since then. All right, guys, so just to wrap up, just the last bit here is 4 weeks to go. There are some of you that are on this call that are still need to fix 1 or 2 things before you're solidly confirmed, but equally those that are on, having heard today from Gavin and what he said, if there are other people in your life or your world who wanted to do this, are considering, maybe treated it as marathon prep fitness they need, and that necessarily isn't so, have a call with them, right? So between now and next week's call, let's just look at, instead of 3 liters of H2O, as Gavin mentioned, liquid, let's try and get that 3 liters of liquid in. Share what was missing on the chat from your last trek. I will share 3 very silly things. I got busy telling everyone to pack the stuff, and I had it here. And as we rushed out on the Friday, I left for Brecon Beacons. I left behind my waterproofs because I was looking at the 2 of them that I have, and I thought which color, which one should I take for this climb? And I bloody left both on the hanger. Thankfully, there wasn't that much rain, or there wasn't any spray. We also on that climb ran out of water, which we reached a point as a group, and that's partly because we went off track. We had somebody thankfully give water to one of us, which was very helpful. The third thing that for me was missing was my knee braces, right? So I always have had my knees, especially when coming downhill, I feel the pain, and it kind of sets me back for a day and a half or 2. And so carrying knee braces, especially for the downhill, really supports me. But that's for me. I want you guys to look at what it is for you, and we can share that on the chat. And you can screenshot this one, guys. We're going to be singing some Swahili on the mountain. So I invite you guys to learn these beautiful, beautiful lyrics of this amazing song. And somebody asked last week about where they can learn some basic Swahili. There's a YouTube channel called Swahili 101. So you can check it out. There is, I'd say when I spent time in Kenya, there's about 30 or so words you need to learn to really have very basic conversational, hi, how are you, what's going on, and questions or words that you need for the mountain. Everyone is English speaking that we will have in terms of the main guides, but it's always great culturally for us to just get an appreciation and understanding, and it's fun always learning a new language. So on that note, I am going to give us this little beautiful song so that you can hear and you can sing with us. Are you going to sing with us, guys? Habari gani, nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa, chini yetu hakuna matata. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave you with that on that note. So that's all that we had. Gavin, thanks so much for being on and staying on longer than you initially said you could. Anything else from you, Gavin?
No, that's everything. I look forward to meeting you all soon enough.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. All have a powerful day wherever you are in the world. And let's speak next week, Wednesday. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Anu.
Hey, what's up?
Charlene, give us some dancing.
See you later.
Okay, I'm gone.
Charlene, give us some dancing.
Can you see us?
We can see
Where's
you.
the
Right?
group?
Oh,
Mountain. Can
amazing.
you see us?
We can see you. We can see you.
Wow, planet.
Amazing, Charlene. Well done, Charlene. Really.
We gotta go down now. Ciao.
All right. Bye for now.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. See you. Anu. Bye, guys. Bye, Teresa.
Bye.
Bye, Ridvan. Bye, Anu.
We're going home now.
All right. Bye, Charlene.
Bye. See you next time, man. We're going down now. It's taken us 2.5 hours. Yeah?
I was going to invite you to call Teresa, who just left.
Teresa.
Yeah, but she.
Okay. Okay.
Teresa,
No, anyway, so we. Yeah?
Teresa was on the call. She's just dialed off now. But can you give her a little personal invite? This is being recorded, so I'll send her to listen to the last 30 seconds. Teresa, considering, for whatever reason, I think you will love her energy and she will love yours.
Okay, no, cool. Where's Teresa?
Yeah, she's dropped off, but just give a little invite. Say a few words for her, and I'll share the recording with her.
Wait, how do I give her an invite?
Just now, say something. Say some few words for her.
Hi, Teresa. I must just say hi, Teresa. Charlene from Zambia.
Awesome. All right, awesome. So we look forward to having her join. Hopefully she's still figuring it out. And Ridvan as well, we should speak. Lovely seeing you on today and lovely to see you out walking. All right, guys.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.